So yeah, the ionizer that you get the negative ions that you would normally do is like you're touching the earth and grounding. For example, which will help neutralize inflammation, which is really not the original state your body needs to be in. Your original state or equilibrium of your body is not to have inflammation, chronic inflammation running through it. An example is like when you're there's been a big downfall of rainfall, and then once it's stopped, you go outside and you breathe the air, and the air just feels so crisp and fresh, and that's because it's emitting. The air is emitting a lot of negative ion electricity, and it makes you feel good. You also get that when you go to waterfalls, where there's a lot of water flow. There's a big build-up of negative ion energy, which, if you're close to that and you breathe in that air, it's electrically very powerful and emitting a lot of these negative ions. The next stage, or the state of matter, is the sun, fire, plasma. So obviously, a lot of people know that when our skin comes in contact with the UV radiation, UVB from the sun, it produces vitamin D within the skin, which is very important. Genetically, it's very important, vitamin D, and it can actually, if we have enough vitamin D, it's actually been shown to prevent 80%, 75 to 80% of all cancers. So it's a vital nutrient. Even though we're not eating it, we are really, because we're eating it through the skin. It's getting to the bloodstream, just like we get nutrients from the food, it's getting to the bloodstream. So, important things to know with that is skin colour pigments. Darker skin we have, the more exposure to sunlight we need to create more vitamin D. The lighter pigments, obviously the red-headed people, they have very fair coloured skin, need less sun or they're going to burn. And a great way of producing what is really deemed our natural sunscreen is to just keep getting the amount of sun that we require to build up a tan. And when we build up a tan, it's our way of our skin protecting itself from some of the bad effects of too much exposure to sun that we get from UVA radiation, not UVB. Now, another thing to know about vitamin D is that when we get the photons from the sun, that UVB radiation connecting with the skin, is that vitamin D absorption, it takes 3 days, at least 3 days for it to absorb and get into the bloodstream. So if we're going out and getting sunlight and we're doing it with the consciousness that we're wanting to get more vitamin D and we want to be healthy, getting that tan, if we go into this and have a shower and we use all these heavy body washes and bacterial soaps, we can wash a lot of that vitamin D off our skin and it won't get to our bloodstream where it's going to give you all those health benefits. So an important thing to realise is that you don't want to be using all that stuff, because you're just removing all that vitamin D off the skin and it won't get to your bloodstream to create all those health benefits. Also, the times between 10 to about 2, probably more 11 o'clock to 2, is where you're going to absorb the most vitamin D, because the sun is right above, up in the sky. So it's right above your head. If it's lower on the horizon, it's got more ozone to go through, so therefore you're not going to get the same penetration of the UVB radiation, so therefore it's really reducing your ability to create vitamin D. And these are times that a lot of people tell you to not get sun, because you'll get skin cancer, or you'll burn and da-da-da-da, and you need to put sunscreen on, which blocks UVA, UVB. So it blocks your ability to absorb vitamin D. Wear hats and all those sorts of things. Now that's the most important time. probably here right in the middle of summer, you probably only need 15-20 minutes of that sun before, and that will stop you from getting to the point where you're getting overexposure and you're starting to burn. But that 15-20 minutes needs to be during that time between ideally 11 to 2 really. If you get that time later in the day or even earlier in the day before that, you won't be getting enough UVB radiation to create enough vitamin D. So that time is very vital to get it during that time. Other than that, your nervous system runs on plasma fire energy that we get from the sun. Picture this. Your eyes are the periscope of your nervous system. So this UV radiation goes through your eyes. That's why it's important for people that wear glasses and sunglasses. You need to take them off. Your eyes need to allow that radiation to go through to your eyes and hit your retina, and that goes through to your pineal gland, and your pineal gland is what regulates your circadian rhythm. Okay? So circadian rhythm is allowing your body to know what time of day it is, where you are and what time of day it is. So this involves blue light and red light. Now blue light tells your body, your circadian rhythm, that it's midday and you need to be alert and awake. Red light, which is more abundant when the sun's low on the horizon and it's about to set, will tell your pineal gland to start secreting melatonin. Melatonin is what makes you sleepy and initiates sleep. So that's all to do with your circadian rhythm. But the problem is, in this technology that we have today, we're looking at cell phones late at night, and we're looking at the TV screen, which are emitting blue light. And this blue light is confusing your circadian rhythm, because this might be at say in summer at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. We're still getting exposure from blue light, which is telling us that it's really midday, but it's not really. It's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. And people are having all these sleep problems because their circadian rhythm is not being regulated properly, because we're looking at all this artificial light and blue light from screens. So there's a great program that you can download for your computer, which is called Flux, and it changes the light that's emitting from the screen depending on where you are and what time of the day it is. So at night time you'll notice a bit more of a red light coming through the screen. It will help allow you to still create and secrete melatonin so you can still sleep well. So that's the 4 elements, states of matter. Make them principles of your daily life and you'll get health benefits. Very simple way of living, and that's how we are supposed to live in a more natural environment. Try them in your principles of daily living. Let me know how they feel and how they go for you. If you have any questions, post a comment on my YouTube account, on my Facebook page, or on my webpage at trulyholistic.net. Thanks for listening.